Hey, everybody, welcome back to Keto Show with Tom and Mike. I'm waiting to see where Mike is. Let's see what's going on here. Well, anyway, today we got a special guest, so I'm going to bring him up. And we're doing our series here of how we met each other and how we met other folks that we're bringing up onto the Keto Show. So without further ado, let me bring up today's guest. Oh, Mike. Well, I'm live from Las Vegas, and he is.
I am live from Atlanta, Georgia.
I figured why not, right, Mike? Because this is how
Yeah,
we actually got started.
yeah.
And let's do a little chit chat about how we both met, and
Okay,
we're gonna take it on from there.
I
So
like it.
you want to take it away?
Well, you showed up as a suggestion of a video for me to watch, so I watched it. I loved it. I'm like, damn, this dude can cook. I like it. So I started watching and commenting, and you came over and started watching and commenting mine, and then we both fell in with the dude, and that's where we actually met. Where
Yeah.
we saw each other on his lives and such. We'd only watched each other video and commented back and forth, but we actually met on the dude's live, and
The
that was a
the,
great day.
the best thing was that I found that I started August 4th, and I think you started the 11th or something like
Something
that.
like that. It's literally like a week apart.
Weeks difference, and I'm just going back and forth. I said, "Wow, I like the way Mike does things," and we're both, I think we had 50 people, if that,
Yeah, yeah.
and
You take him off way better than I have.
well, no, not really. I mean, different content, basically. I mean, but for the
Yeah,
same purpose. But for the
right,
same purpose.
right. We're getting toward the same goal, going about it in a different way.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the beauty about doing what we do and how we do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there's no set rules on it. So,
Mm-mm.
Mike, why don't you give everybody who really don't know, and please, if you can, everybody hit that like and subscribe button and subscribe to Mike. And please, I mean, got a great channel. So, Mike, give us a little backstory of how you got started and a little bit about how you got into keto and stuff.
Well, in 2018, I made a trip to Arizona to Las Vegas. My wife and I we'd never been, so let's go. It was March of 2018. We went there for her birthday, and we had signed up to take a helicopter ride to the Grand Canyon. And they had a deal: if you weighed over 300 pounds, it cost you more. Well, I was not only over 300 pounds, I scared the hell out of 300 pounds. And so I, I'm like, we pay more. Well, we canceled it, but that was like a awakening thing for me. And I realized, health wise, I was in decent shape. My numbers weren't too bad. I had decent numbers on the blood work and all that. They could have been better, but they weren't real bad either. Uh, Blood pressure was okay. It was a little high, but it wasn't super high. And I did real good under medication. And so I started thinking about it. And my daughter, Paige and ours daughter, she had taken on keto and done keto uh, maybe a year and a half, 2 years prior, and she lost close to 100 pounds,
Oh,
and it was doing great on it. The only problem was she had the kids at home and a husband that wasn't doing keto, and she said it just got so hard trying to manage doing it, and I was the only one doing it. He worked at a convenience store, grocery store distributor, and they would have these damaged boxes of candy and things like that, and they'd say, tell the employees, take them home. If they're damaged, we can't sell them, so take them home. So he'd bring them home. And she said, there they are, staring me in the face. And I said, can you at least hide them? He said, no, because I want them when I want them, and I don't want to go looking for them. And so, she put all the weight and then some back on. So I told Paige, I said, I at that time thought she was crazy doing keto. I said, there's no way this will work. And then I saw this and I'm like, holy crap, how can that be healthy? Well, then after the trip to Vegas, I said, well, I wonder I wonder about doing that. So I started doing a ton of research. And in May 6th of 2018, we started keto. And I basically got rid of every single thing that was high carb, every like potatoes, whether it was frozen or otherwise. I got rid of them. If it was rice, I got rid of it. Bread, I got rid of it. Chips, got rid of it. All of it, and gave it to them. I said, we asked our daughter, said, "Do you want these?" She said, "Yeah, if the kids will eat it, or I will. We'll be fine." I said, "I don't want to contribute anything." She said, "No, no, we're good." So we gave them to her, and we didn't look back. We for the first 6 months, we were as strict about it as you could get. And then we started introducing in a few things sweet wise, where occasionally we didn't do anything non-sweet that was sweet. Everything was non-sweet and strict keto. Every single thing was. And so we started introducing some treats in and such as that, and it worked. And in that first year, I ended up losing 100 pounds
In the first year.
in the first year, and I went from 350 to 250.
Wow.
And then the brakes just got put on. I couldn't drop anymore. I was stalled out, and I stayed stalled out for about a year and a half, almost 2 years.
No kidding.
And but I looked at it as a victory because I wasn't putting it back on because so
See,
uh,
and with me also. I mean, I went through the same routine, but I found I was losing inches. I wasn't losing weight,
yeah,
but I was losing more inches and stuff that
I
way. So
was still losing inches. I was still losing
okay,
inches. I went from a size 44 pants to a size 36. I went from a 5X and I wear a 2X now. I can wear an XL, but I don't like anything binding on me. It just bothers me. So I
okay,
wear a shirt a little bit bigger. This sweatshirt's a little bigger than what it needs to be. It's a 2X. I could wear a 1X.
okay.
Uh, and in some cases, if it's built at the right, if it's cut right, I can get in just a large and a couple. I found a couple of things that were large that I could get in. But so and then about 2 years after that, I started losing a little more, and I lost. And it was right when the pandemic started, or had been going on for a little while, and I lost 10 more pounds and got down to 240.
Ah,
And now I'm stalled again. I can't move past that, and it fluctuates anywhere from like 245 to 240, something like that. But it's nothing more than a fluctuation. Like maybe you retain a little fluid here or there, whatever, or you whatever reason that causes fluctuation in weight.
right.
But once again, I have during this entire time that I have not been losing like I did in that first year, I didn't put weight back on other than the fluctuation between the weights,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that's the key, I think.
that's a win. That's a,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and I told Paige, I said, if I don't lose another pound on this, I'll be happy with this. I can live with this. This is manageable. Now, do I want to lose more weight? Yes, I do. I would love to get down to 180. And
yeah,
well, I would love to get down into Wonderland where I got a 1 instead of a 2 in that first number.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you know, will I get there? I don't know. Do I think I will? I think I will. Might take me a little time, but I'm getting back toward. We had started a more stricter keto before we went on vacation last week, and last
hmm
week it kind of just wasn't as strict, But we were on vacation, and not that we did real bad because we didn't, but it was we just kind of relaxed and kind of enjoyed things, and all. We didn't do super bad, but we didn't follow it strict, but we're back on a stricter keto now, and I'm going to see if I can uh, go down and weight again, start losing
Explain
again.
explain that a little bit to me because just to, just for everybody to understand, what you mean by the stricter. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
This is where people get crazy with,
Right.
oh, can't have this.
Yeah. I'm not like that. I believe I'm going to cut out the sweets. I'm not going to do even the keto sweets. I'll cut them out like I did in that first 6 months that I was on the keto. I'm going to, I've stopped eating the keto bread because, and I stopped that because of something that Ron Gerard, with Ron's Keto Cafe said, and I'm testing it to see if it's going to be the case with me, and I'll get to that in a second. But um, I'm not. I'm going to go with the meat and veggies, the good meat, good veggies, the good fats. I didn't, not that I was using bad fats, but I'm staying with the holiness of it, and with maybe an occasional stray over into doing something on special occasions.
Okay, gotcha.
But Ron, he, I have a problem with psoriasis. I deal with that. And when I first started keto and I was strict, and I didn't think about it until after he said this, my psoriasis cleared up. I didn't have a single problem with it. And then when all the keto breads and all started coming out, and I started doing them and enjoying them and all, and I wasn't putting on weight, but the psoriasis came back.
Yeah.
And I didn't put it together with the bread. I didn't. And he said the other day, he said when we did the interview with him, he talked about how the gluten and the wheat and things like that in the keto bread, that he has a psoriasis problem, and he's read that, and he has done research and determined that you can have an intolerance to it, and it affects skin conditions.
Yep.
And if you have a propensity to psoriasis, it'll cause you to have a breakout.
And
I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I'm like,
and conventional medicine. There again, I speak for me. Okay.
mm-hmm,
And I really don't say, well, we're not doctors or anything. No, this is what happened with me. You know what I mean? So and I'm telling everybody, well, this is how I lost weight. This is how I got my diabetes pretty much in check. Dry skin, okay, comes with
mm-hmm,
aging, but it has a lot to do with your diet.
right,
Has a lot to do with it. And that's what the conventional medicine don't tell you, because
right,
they probably have 2 weeks worth of nutrition studies for going to college for 6 years to become
yep,
a medical doctor.
yep,
So the nutritional part of it, it's not there. You know, even nutritionists, they're taught a certain way of what to put in for them. So Ron is right. There's certain things in that bread, and there's certain things in different foods that
right,
will cause this autoimmune problem, and that's basically what psoriasis is.
right. It is an autoimmune disease, and it's basically your skin's attacking itself,
Yeah.
and your immune system is attacking your skin and killing it. It seems that is a problem. Well, since I've gone back to doing a stricter keto, I do take shots for psoriasis, but there's always a little bit around. Well, since I went back to doing the stricter keto, even that's cleared up a whole lot. It's not completely gone, but it's damn near gone.
Yeah. I mean, the fact of the matter is that people say when we say strict keto, everybody gets nervous.
Hmm.
Oh, you can't have this or you can't have it. No, it's the furthest thing from the truth.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
looking at it that way. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm with you on that. I want to. I'm going away from uh, uh, anything that has. I'm gonna get away from anything that has gluten, or anything that has a wheat product in it, even if it's oat fiber or whatever. I'm gonna go with that, and try to eliminate that from it.
Yeah.
I'll throw in the occasional keto sweet, uh, even though everybody's all scared because of the study that came out about erythritol. Which that study, I looked at it in depth, and I'm gonna do a video on it. That study is so flawed, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's and you got to watch who's sponsoring it.
exactly, exactly. They got so many issues in that study. I'm like, everybody's jumping on. Oh, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it,
when you
they just one little example. There were 40 people in the study. That's it. They didn't have a control group. They had 40 people, and all of them were unhealthy. And when they started the study,
That's my point. I mean, it's just
and
craziness. It's just
and I'm like,
crazy.
oh, they had either heart problems or some kind of arterial thing going on, arterial sclerosis or whatever. And they were, and I'm like,
Not to laugh
oh
at anybody that
man,
has that. Yeah. But Mike. It's like, and you know yourself, okay. I mean, we're not dummies, okay. We know that we did not feel good. Things were not
right,
going the way we wanted to go. So
right,
it's pick and choose type of thing, you know.
right.
Um, the gluten, especially with the gluten, okay. Oh, people say, oh, I can't have the. Did you get tested for celiac disease? Did you get tested to see if you have a gluten
Yeah,
intolerant?
yeah,
If not, gluten you need. So, some people need
right,
the gluten. Okay.
right,
So unless you got tested and the doctor tells you no, okay, down the road, okay, it's once in a while take a break from it, but down the road you're going to find out that you need some gluten, you know,
right,
and that's the stuff that they don't tell you. That's the stuff that makes me mad a little bit about it. But
right.
so
Now, I'm still gonna have the occasional thing that has some gluten in it, like those
yeah,
street tortillas, those zero carb, zero net carb street tortillas. I will occasionally have some of those,
yeah.
you know. But I found a bread, and I've got a video coming out maybe tomorrow. But it's Wednesday. We're recording this on Tuesday. Um, it it's a bread that I saw in Kroger, and it said keto on it. And I looked at it, and I'm like, I'll look at it and say, oh, okay, you say you're keto. Let's see. Well, it's got a higher amount of carbs, but all the ingredients are keto,
Yeah.
are acceptable on keto. There's no wheat in it, there's no gluten, and it's uh, Base Culture is the name of the company. And
What
it's
was
got
it again?
black Base Culture. It's a frozen bread. It's in the frozen foods in Kroger. Publix has them, but I know you don't have Publix out there. I've heard Sprouts has them. I haven't checked there though, but they are. It's a now just to eat plain. It's crap. Just to-
Yeah, 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 yeah,
but
yeah.
if you toast it and put a little butter on it, or put some cream cheese, or put some jelly, some kind of fruit on there, it's good.
so
It's not bad at all.
So if you could explain to everybody about how we can get away with doing that, okay? Because a certain amount of carbs you're allowed to have for the day. I do 20 or under.
Right,
Sometimes I do 40 or under.
right,
Sometimes I do 50 or under.
right, and the difference between you and me, you do total carbs. I
Right.
do net carbs,
Right.
uh, but I'm conscious of the total carbs, and I try to keep it. I try to do 20 net carbs a day with anywhere from 40 to 50 total carbs.
Right. That's
And if I go under that, even better. But
that's the confusion the confusion that people have. Oh, I don't know, counting this and counting. I do total because I feel that if I don't do total carbs, there is other items that are
I get
in
it.
that can affect
Mhm.
me.
Right,
Okay, I'm a type 2 diabetic.
right.
You're not.
Right,
Okay,
and that's
so
another reason why I don't worry about that. If I was a type 2, I'd probably be focusing on total carbs
yeah, exactly. And
instead.
it
And Paige
and
is
there's
a
nothing.
type 1 diabetic, so she's insulin dependent regardless. So the total carbs is not as big an issue for her as it is for someone who's type 2.
Right, exactly. See, and there again, that's not to go off on a little rant, but that's the difference between they categorize type 1 and type 2 as the same. It's not.
No, they're far
To-
apart. They're way
totally
apart. Yeah,
totally different.
yeah,
Mine's
way
more
apart.
type 2 is more of a autoimmune
Right,
disorder, okay, where we make too much insulin. Page makes none,
exactly.
or that same
And
way.
with her, the goal is to take as little insulin and a source of a day as she possibly can.
So
Whereas you're controlling through medication, and sometimes there is a some occasions where they do put type 2 on insulin, but that's a whole different ball game. And if the doctor's talking about putting you on insulin, I would start to question whether I was type 2 or not.
Yeah, they put me on type 2 and almost killed me. I mean, on insulin almost killed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you've got um, she, you know, the net carb. She does the net carbs
Mm-hmm.
and not the total carbs in it. Her blood sugar, she stays. The doctor, because she's been a diabetic for as long as she has, since she was 6 years old, and she's 61 now. That the doctor told her that she wants her between about 110, 120, and 170. And she's in control. She's in range like 90+% of the time.
So getting back to net carbs and total carbs, okay. To me, that's no difference right there because she's working her. In other words, I always say working the plate the right way,
Right,
okay, with the insulin pump and everything else like that. Where
right,
me, I have to be more conscious of keeping it down,
right, right.
okay, and
Hmm.
and that I told you a couple of weeks ago on one of our shows, I had 4 grapes, Mike, and
Oh,
it was
it'll
like
drive. Yeah,
it
it
was
was
like
like a
getting punched.
rocket.
It was like getting punched by Ali. I mean, it was crazy. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's the stuff that you get, and people don't realize. I had friends of mine who started keto. They were on it a week, and they told me, "Oh, these fat bombs are beautiful." What do you do?
Why are
Fat
you
bomb?
doing that? You are too early into this to be worried about
No,
fat bombs.
not now, not now. So
You are everybody that starts trying to figure out how to get snacks and treats and sweets and fat bombs into their keto lifestyle right off the bat.
you're doing
You
something wrong.
Yes, you are going to fail.
Yeah.
You're going to fall off. You're going to find yourself falling off the wagon, and you're going to have to. It's going to. You're going to be fighting an uphill battle.
Okay. With that said, my next question for you, there, sir. What was the worst thing about keto?
The worst thing was that the keto flu. The keto flu starting out. Since then, there's no worse thing. But starting out, I'm here to tell you the keto flu is real.
It
It
is.
is real,
God.
and and it you if you're starting out doing keto or low carb, drink your electrolytes, get it in somehow. And you don't need to buy them. If you want to buy them, fine, but you don't need to. You can make your own just as easily, and it
Get,
is just
Mike, get
I
into that
can't.
a little bit if you can. Get into that
Okay,
a little bit about
all right.
making that.
Yeah, making your own. You can make it. I mean, water, and now you can do a two. You can do a double kick of things. You can do. You can get your electrolytes, and you can also treat your any kind of gut issues that you may have, and it'll take care of heartburn and such as that, all in one drink. And that is use the apple cider vinegar, some salt. You can put a little lemon juice in there if you want. You can add a little bit of sweetener if you want, as long as it's something that's approved, keto approved, or type of sweetener. Because especially when you're first starting out, when you drink this, it's going to be a little harsh because you're not. Until you get used to it, you're going to like, oh God, what am I doing? You know.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and you told me something, and I tried it, and it works, and that's putting bicarbonate of soda in it, which is basically baking soda.
Man, bacon soda.
And
A little
because
bit,
that
not a
is
lot.
right, not a lot. Because if you think about it, that will help your gut issues, and because it'll when you get an upset stomach, they would take a bicarbonate of soda. It helps to settle the stomach,
Yeah.
and it'll do this as well. You drink this drink, and it won't be long. You won't be having any heartburn problem, any reflux, and so
Now,
forth. But the salt, get that salt in there, and if you want, and I would take a supplement of potassium and magnesium glycinate.
there
Make
you
sure it's
go.
the glycinate. Don't get any other kind because it won't work near as well.
There'll be a toilet paper shortage again.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if you get the mag citrate, the magnesium citrate.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
even
brother.
the pill will do it. Now if you want to keep it on hand so you can deal with an occasional constipation, go for it.
Now,
But
now,
don't take it on a regular basis. So.
now, let me ask you another question. With when you started out, let's put the myth to bed. Okay, when
Hmm.
you first started out, okay, like everybody does, or I can eat all the bacon and butter and everything I want. Okay,
Yeah. Uh,
let's put this to bed
That's
for
what I
now.
thought it was. I was one of them.
I mean, at the second day, I mean, I said I can't eat no more freaking bacon. I'm sorry, but it's just not my realm. Not my wheelhouse to keep eating bacon.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
You know, people say, "Oh, boy, all you eat is bacon." Yeah, no.
it's a balance, okay, between
Right,
proteins and good
right,
fats and stuff like that. I
right.
mean, you're not for a while there. I'm thinking, oh man, I got to drink olive oil. Not now. Since I started, I've cooked most of my life, but I use a lot of olive oil and use a lot of butter. Okay,
Hmm.
and I was never one of them guys that strayed away from, the doctor said, oh, lay off the butter and run fats, saturated fats, and stuff like that. I for what I did for I couldn't, okay, because that was where the flavor profile was, and
Right,
for the first time in my life, I said, "Well, I was right from back then." You know what I mean?
right. Yeah,
You know,
yeah. And I see. I was the same way. But Paige was insistent. She thought that the butter was a bad thing, so we had the margarines. I can't believe it's not butter, and
yeah,
which I can't believe they sell this. Is what it really should be labeled.
exactly.
Okay, but they say, oh well, we got zero trans fats. Well, you know what? You're still made with crap. You
Yeah,
still
exactly.
and there's a. I highly recommend that there's a channel. He doesn't make videos anymore, but he used to make them. And this man, he has done more for the keto low carb world probably than anybody else I know of through his videos. He wrote a book, and it's called "Butter Makes My Pants Fall Off."
Yeah, remember you telling me about that.
And his Butter Bob Briggs. He's got a YouTube channel and a ton of videos out there on it. But he does. It's been probably 6 or 7 years since he made a video. I don't know if he's alive or dead.
Hmm.
I heard that he just stopped making videos because he said I said all I had to say. I said so, because
That's it.
if you watch his videos, that fits his personality. He's from North Carolina, um,
Okay.
and he's or I believe that's where he's from, and he's great at it. He he cooks his chicken in lard. He cooks.
Yeah, I mean, and see, that's the myth. The other thing that it was drummed into our head. Hey, we were both raised, with our parents telling us, you know, respect your elders, listen to doctors. But they got the sheepskin. My father used to say, you don't have none of that, so you got to listen to them.
Yeah,
Okay, I mean, how far off base were they? I mean, ha- but with that said, um, yeah, I mean, all natural stuff. Are you a label reader, Mike?
oh, big time. I
Okay,
I boy, I am religious about reading that label.
what's
Um, I I I try to stay away from soybean oil as much as possible. The one exception is because I love this stuff and I can't get away from it for some reason. It's like I'm addicted to it. Is Duke's mayo? This-
yeah?
God, that
I
stuff is so good.
I bust your chops about that. Okay,
Yeah,
uh, but really, I mean, the thing that bothers me about that kind of stuff, even is the stabilizers, the shelf
right,
stable
right.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
But I mean, most of the ingredients, I mean, there's some funky stuff in there that I can't pronounce, whatever. But if you've been doing it all your life, I mean, it's really nothing that really harmful in it.
and that's what I thought. I said if that's the only thing that I eat that has soybean oil in it, then it is. I'm doing all right, you know.
See, I make my own, okay, avocado oil and stuff like that. But I got to be careful because I'm allergic to raw egg.
Yeah,
Okay, I
yeah,
get the swelling lips and stuff like that. But It's not from the yolk; it's from the white of the egg. That's where anybody has an allergy. It's not usually from the yolk; it's usually from the white of it, because that's a
Right.
protective barrier around that, around the yolk of it. But every once in a while, and when eggs, with the price of eggs and stuff like that, I went and bought. We went and bought Dukes, because I was afraid if I slipped and said something wrong, you'd befriend me. But no, it's good. It's good stuff.
Oh, well,
So,
yeah. Everybody says, people ask me, said, how you pronounce it? Mayo and NA all the way, but I said, oh, you talk about, they said, do you say mayonnaise or do you say mayonnaise? And I say, I call it Dukes. I
yeah,
call it.
that's what when we had our banter going back and forth about the different mayonnaises and stuff like that. You said Dukes is the best. I said his first name was Hellman. But
Now,
with
Hellman's makes a good one. This makes a good one. Now,
but
now, when you buy mayo, now let me give you all a little hint. You buy mayo and it says it's made with olive oil. Look at the back; it's gonna have some soybean oil in it. I'll guarantee doggone to you.
yeah. We were at the store the other day, and I'm looking, and Marie says, "Oh, look, the olive oil is cheap here in the store." I said, "Read it closer, okay? Get and maybe again and canola oil."
Hmm.
Okay, so I mean, and there again, me and Charlie from Cooking Secrets for Men, we were talking about olive oil. Get a good olive oil. I said, "What's good? What's a good one?" You don't know because
What I do when I read the label is I look to see how many countries that it lists that it's sourced from.
yeah, yeah.
If it's got
So
multiple countries, I put it back on the shelf.
I
If it's got
had
one country, I use it because
yeah,
especially if it's Italy
yeah,
or usually one country will have if you source it from that country. Uh, and Italy is one of the perfect examples on the olive oil that they have a higher, stricter standards for it, and with it you want to get the expeller pressed or cold pressed. You don't want to get anything else is just too processed, and
right.
you're not getting the goods. You're getting trash.
The overly processed. Now,
Yeah.
I was questioning the other day, because the last video I did about what oil. Why do I blend olive oil and avocado oil? I said, well, first of all, I don't use virgin olive oil, only if for salads and stuff like that. I don't cook with it. I'll use a regular olive oil. Okay, and I get my olive oil from Trader Joe's
The
because
heat point's too high otherwise.
eh,
I mean,
the
not
the
high enough, rather. I mean,
the price is right, and the way it's made, and they have good products. Trader Joe's and Aldi's are basically the same
right,
family. Let's put it that way.
right.
So they got good products, and I get it there, and the price is right.
Hmm.
Okay, and I'll give them that much. I use avocado oil when I to deep fry, and I blend both of them. The reason why I blend it is because avocado doesn't really have that taste to it. Okay,
Right,
and
right.
it will actually turn green, turn some stuff that you do a little green, have a little green
Yep,
tinge to it.
it will.
So I blend it 50-50, and I also do it because of the cost.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
because avocado oil is just about a little bit pricier more
right. And
than
I'm
that.
I'm gonna
So
give you a hint. If the avocado oil or the olive oil is in a plastic jug, put it back on the shelf.
yep,
It's
exactly.
got to be in. I'm telling you, if it ain't in glass, it's crap.
Different taste, different
Right.
taste. Just
And
like going back to our childhood. I mean, you got milk from a bottle,
yep,
a glass bottle, that
yep,
much different taste than you would from the carton and stuff.
yep.
All right, so now next question is: we asked you what the worst part of keto was, and the flu. You were 100% right with keto flu. I thought I was dying,
I did
but it's
too.
that change, and once you get through that, the clarity was. I mean, I felt great.
And I tell you, let me before we get
Yeah,
to that, talking
yeah.
about that about the worst thing. I had been doing keto for like a week and a half, something like that, and hadn't lost a pound, not a single pound. But I also had not been to the bathroom. So if you know what I mean.
Yep.
So I we're in Publix, and I said, Paige, I said, I got to go. And she
Clean
said,
up in aisle 7.
yeah, she said, okay. Well, now I don't have a gallbladder. Mine was taken out. And when you don't have a gallbladder and you tell somebody you got to go, it is no, well, first chance we get, I'm gonna go. It's no, you got to
Now,
go. You got to go. It's like somebody cut the drawstring.
that's
It's
it.
like so. Anyway, I went in there and came out. I felt so much better. And I got home and I said, I'm going to weigh 5 pounds. I kid you not.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure I didn't do 5 pounds worth of that, but it just kind of caused an avalanche of it right then.
And it's stuff that you have to talk about because people get they if something if they watch a video, especially about keto, oh, you can have this and you can have that and rah, 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 all that nonsense talk. Okay, you got to get down to the nuts and bolts of it
Yep.
because it scares people off.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, I couldn't do that and this and that. And I'm constantly in the bathroom, this and that, blah 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 blah. But the aftermath is look what the carbs and the sugar's been doing to you all this time. Okay. Well, my doctor said to me, well, you lost I think the first week or so was 16 pounds. So when I went to my doctor, he says, wow, he says, you dropped a lot. He says, but you know what? That's water weight. I said, it's weight, isn't it?
Wait. I don't care what it is.
Then I says, where's your diploma? I started looking around the room. Maybe graduated from a veterinarian school or something. I don't know.
So what
But
if it's water weight? Wait. If I
yeah.
was bloated, it's still weight.
The next time I went back to him, I was down 35 pounds. Okay. And that's when it started clicking where he said, wow, we don't need you on this pill anymore. No need to take this pill anymore. So it just started dropping down. So we talked about the bad stuff, Mike.
Uh-huh.
What's the good thing about being keto?
That I get to eat a lot of the foods that I grew up loving and enjoying. Bacon, eggs, sausage, things like that. I don't have to deprive myself of those things. There are things that I voluntarily deprive myself of, like the sweets.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because it's sugar. I'm telling you, if you do nothing else, just cut the sugar out, and you're going to see an incredible change in itself right there, just with that. But I was a meat and potatoes guy. Well, believe it or not, cauliflower mash or hearts of palm mash, they're pretty good.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
And they make a dang good substitute. So hey, get that. Like, I don't. You know what? Now I have had mashed potatoes since then. I would rather have the cauliflower mash or the hearts of palm mash because it just tastes better to me now.
Yeah.
I don't wish those mashed potatoes anymore, or don't want them.
Yeah, I mean, one guy said to me, "Well, I would miss the French fries and stuff like that." And I says, well, "You know what?" I says, "I miss a good punch in the face. It doesn't mean that I want to have it all the time. I mean, you got to think about your general health. Okay,
Right.
does this make me feel better?"
I had
Okay.
somebody tell me, say that I can't give this up because I'd have to give up potatoes.
Okay.
And I said, do
Really?
you really like potatoes? Oh, I love potatoes. They're great. I said, well, is it really the potatoes or is it everything that's in the potatoes? Is it the butter that you put in there? Is it the bacon that you loaded up for loaded mashed potatoes or cheese? Or is it, or cream cheese that you put in there to do it with or sour cream? Is it, or is it really the potatoes? How often do you eat just a plain potato and nothing on it? Well, I don't do that. I said, so you're telling me it's really the things that go in the potatoes. Well, guess what? You can still put it in there with the other stuff.
Yeah.
And they goes, oh.
and then the other side of it is that if you really can't give it up, okay, have a little bit, cut it in half,
Right.
cut the
Right. Yeah,
portions, cut the
exactly.
portions back.
Or if you want to have the occasional potato, get those purple potatoes.
Fingerlings, baby.
Yeah, those are the best kind of potatoes to have. If you're gonna have to have a potato, get it.
Anything with color, anything that has a
Right,
color other
right,
than the yellow russet or whatever.
right,
If it's the purple, if it's got the red skin on it, uh, yeah. I mean, but cut it in half.
right. Just
You're talking to a guy, okay, who did. I was the potato pusher, okay.
hmm
You sat down in a restaurant for dinner. You got nice sized baked potato. Okay, I gave you the starches. I gave you everything like that. So
potatoes
when
are
I
cheap.
yeah, so when I started doing this, I'm saying, hmm, I can have a little bit. Well, if you mix the two together like we always did, butter, sour cream, okay, and then
hmm
the high carbs, okay. So I'm 20. I'm right now. I'm 20 carbs or less. One serving of potatoes is 37 carbs, and then load it up with everything else. Okay, so
hmm
I shot myself in the foot right off the bat.
Yep,
You know what I
yep.
mean? Yeah, yeah, heck yeah. I mean, just cut back. I mean, it's not hard to do.
Now,
Then
when
you
we talk about one serving of potatoes, we're talking about generally it's a cup.
right,
One
exactly.
cup is a serving. Now, rice is different. A half a cup of rice is a serving.
Yeah,
So
rice
that's
grows.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
That
like pasta.
now, uh, the weight loss that you did a complete 110 pounds to
Yep,
date, right?
yep.
That's freaking amazing.
Thank you,
That
thank you.
is amazing to lose that much weight and to get back into the life. I call it back to life again.
Right, and I call myself. I'm a self-proclaimed reformed fat man.
I
Everybody
love
gets a
that.
kick at it when I say it on the videos.
You got me saying it now too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see that, and that's the thing that keeps me going. I watch a lot of different channels. I watch all kinds of stuff, not just necessarily keto or anything like that, but mostly like food related stuff like that. How to stuff with what people do and everything. And it amazed me to the point because in the beginning I started out where you have to have it this way, and that's it. I was one of them guys, okay.
Yep.
But learning from you and from Alan and a couple other different people that I watch, it's about you,
Right.
not not about everybody else.
No,
So
you got to figure out what works for you in it, how you can make it work for you. And
what's your go to
Alan, you
food?
do it one way, I do it one way,
Yeah,
another way. Alan, he does it a completely different way. Jason, with Just Jason Keto, he does it a completely different other way. Ron, Ron's Keto Cafe, whole
yeah,
nother way. But it all works.
yeah.
Now, Ron, now that's a man who is, oh, he's lost like a person and a
100,
half.
130, didn't he say?
Yeah,
Or
he's like,
120 or
oh
something?
man.
And
Yeah.
and see that's the thing, the determination, okay, to get hey, we're getting up there. All right. So um I where I live, I look around and I watch people that are just younger than us, okay,
hmm
in bad shape, real bad shape.
Yeah.
So I seen one guy the other day and he's out there. Now have if you anybody that smokes, whatever, that's your deal. This guy's out by they have one direct smoking area, and that's it. No other place on the complex. He takes his oxygen off, hangs it on the hook, and goes over to the bench and sits down and has a cigarette. I mean, just that's mind-boggling to me. So um, take it from us, guys. I mean, I lost 58 pounds, and I'm teetering with 2 pounds. I'll get it, okay, to be 60 down. But that man right here, okay, 110. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Completely
Thank
amazing.
you. That, you know, I that first probably 2 weeks it was hard. Since then, it's not been hard,
Yeah, yeah,
and it was only because I needed to get into a groove. Once you find your groove and your happy ground, and I counted all the carbs with the app. I did all that stuff to begin with, and it got to be where it was more like work than it was anything. And I said, you know what? You got a decent head for numbers. Just keep up with it in your head.
Yeah, I
You don't
mean,
need to put it in there. You can keep up with it in your head, and I do that. I keep up with it in my head. And if I don't know how many carbs there are in it, I look it up.
yeah, I mean, and see, what happens is it always turns out to be anything that works. Okay, then they turn it into a marketing ploy.
Right.
Okay, or what they can sell and this and that. I mean, there's just products out there, but it all these products go through a process.
Yes.
Okay, the studies are still not all in about certain these ingredients that they put in to these processes. So
Right.
I in turn I stay away from all that stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
being in the food business all these years, there's things I just don't trust about it, and because it's got a good shelf life. It's not a good shelf life for my gut.
That's
You know what I mean?
exactly. You got shelf life and you got gut life.
Yeah, exactly. That's the big thing. So my point is what I like about Mike and Mike's channel is he's not afraid to do anything. He's not afraid to try anything.
I'm not.
Okay,
That's
and
it.
and, and
That's I get that from my mother.
and here's the kicker that I want to explain to everybody is he doesn't care if it fails or not.
No, no,
That
not a bit.
people have that sense. "Well, I can't put that out there because they're going to see that it's a well. How the hell you know?
Right.
You know what I mean?
But
So Mike comes off with some wild stuff, and I got
hey,
to tell you, we watched him a couple weeks ago do a video, and we're doing it this Friday, St. Patrick's Day, and I got to tell you, because of this guy right here, he made a chaffle, and all he did was put caraway seed in it. And I got to tell you
that's
what,
it.
I'm a bread guy, all right, and I got the bread basket to prove it. And rye bread was one of my best. That rye toast and a cup of coffee. Oh, good God! And he made a rye chaffle, and I every time we talk now, I bring it up because you know what, fantastic. So
Who knew just adding caraway seeds into it? We did that.
what a flavor! I mean, just
Hit this, you know. And the way I came up with it, I said I started thinking about I want to do I had to do a chaffle for it, and I was going to do a sweet chaffle, and I said no, no, I don't want. No, I'm not going to do that. I want to make some kind of a savory chaffle. And I said, you know what? What kind of sandwich do you miss the most? And I said, Reuben sandwich
yep.
on a rye bread, Jewish rye sweet seeded bread, type of thing. And I said, okay, what about that bread makes it taste that way? And I said, the caraway seeds. I said, and I thought, why can't I just add caraway seeds to the chaffle and get the same effect? And I said, let's see what happens.
And see, that's the great part about it. I mean, what you do in your air fryer and stuff like that. It's thinking out of the box, okay, to help yourself.
Right.
Okay, so it's not a restricted way of
Mm-mm.
eating. We're programmed how we eat. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and when people come up, oh, I got to try that recipe. Well, why do you have to try it? Because it's intriguing. Number one, okay, eat with your eyes, eat with your nose. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
presentation means a lot,
Yep.
but everything is different. Okay,
Right.
how do you think they sorted out with beef stroganoff? You think that was just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
who looked at an oyster and said, yummy?
yeah. And how did he get his name oyster? It could have been the guy who ate it and died. His name
Yeah.
is
Hey.
Oyster.
Yeah. There you go.
So yeah, I mean, thinking out of the box. So if you get a chance, please check Mike's channel out. Subscribe. We want to get him to the 1,000. We want to get him up there. But different things that come out of the box that makes it more intriguing about. Well, let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to keep watching and see what
What
happens.
worst that can happen is it bombs. You get to see me screw it up, and you can laugh at me. You know.
Yeah. No, but it's all
you
good
know
stuff.
the thing when I came up with that, I said, well, do you want to? When I thought about putting that in there, I said, do you want to go out on Google and search it and see if anybody's done it. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because I'm sure somebody has, but I want to be able to say, I have no idea whether somebody has. And I'm just doing something that came into my head. Am I claiming to invent it? Nope, not in the least.
My wife looked at me and she went like this. I'll be right back. And that's how good it is. And that's how things start. You know what I mean?
Oh, I took one bite of that and I'm like, oh my God.
I just couldn't believe it. I mean,
was. I'm like, this is it. This is it. Oh my gosh, that's good.
So getting into the future. Do you see yourself staying with this, or
I do. I do.
okay?
I don't foresee me ever going off of keto other than like with last week with vacation, having, just trying to, where I didn't really go off of it, I adapted it.
Yeah,
I mean, I still stayed low carb keto, but I adapted it to where I was and fit it in because, I still ate low carb meals. I actually did a video, and you're going to get to see me screw up in this video. It's out there. It's coming next week. And it's because I saw it, and, but it ended up being okay and worked
Good.
out. And made it really spicy, but
I
and Paige tried it and said, "Oh, this is so spicy." And I said, "I'll be right back with the ranch dressing."
yeah, exactly.
Because when it's too spicy, she puts ranch on it, and she said ranch cures everything.
Yep, gets the cool down.
Mm-hmm.
The I got one coming up too that I got uh, a bouncer in it, I guess, and and I knew better before I started, and you'll see it, and it actually is pretty funny. But yeah, I mean that's life. I mean, I'm trying to stay as help. I want to be able to move around.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't want
yeah,
to be, come on down watching The Price is Right, for 4 hours, or if
right,
that's even still on TV. I don't even know.
right,
But and move to walk to go up. I can't wait for the pool to open up and keep moving around. I mean, and it's not hard to do. People make it hard. You coined the phrase. If you make it hard, it's going to be hard.
right. If it's hard, it's because you made it hard. It's because
Yeah.
it's because you tried to think, you overthought it. You just and just go with what's natural. And like art, everybody counts the garlic. They count the really strict keto folks. They count garlic. They count onion powder. They count all this stuff. I don't count it because
Yeah.
garlic powder and onion powder and things like that ain't what made me fat.
Yeah. Elaborate a little bit on that, will you, sir?
Yes, I what made me fat was eating potatoes and bread and rice and pasta, things like that, because what they said was a serving and what I said was a serving was two different
Eh,
things.
Wrong answer.
And I mean, you look at it, they say, "Oh, well, the meat you eat should be the size of a deck of cards. That's a serving." I'm like, I'm going to use the monster deck,
Yeah, yeah. Give me the shoe with 4 decks
Yeah,
in it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not using your deck of cards. We're using mine. So
Well,
that's what made me fat. The broccoli didn't make me fat. So I don't worry about eating the broccoli or the cauliflower or the riced cauliflower. Said it right. Uh,
it's not rice. I mean, we go back and forth about that all the
oh,
time.
we do. We
I
do.
have I had one lady say to me, "Oh, I tried that rice. I didn't make rice." Yeah, you did. You made the rice cauliflower.
Yeah.
I said it's rice cauliflower, not cauliflower rice. She looked, oh, oh,
It'll even
boop,
say it on the package.
lost a subscriber.
But you know, I could. I didn't worry about doing that. What I looked at was like, if I had, it would. I I don't think I could eat enough broccoli and cauliflower and things like that to go over 20 carbs. I don't think,
See, with,
you
with the
know?
with the sad diet, standard American diet. Okay, we are taught to eat 3 times a day, plus in between have a snack. All right, so that's 5 times, and then come home. All right, have dinner, and then a snack at night, and then so we really don't know when we are full.
Right,
That's the problem. People, I'm full. I just got done eating, but I'm bored now. I'm going to keep on
right,
going. So it's like, you know, take an engine, okay, and have the engine running and squirt a little ether by it, and it'll speed up real fast and then slow back down again. Okay, so that's what we're doing to ourselves. We're adding a little ether,
right,
speed up and then crash again, up and
right,
crash again.
right.
When I turned around and actually sat down and had a meal, okay, a keto meal, and I was full, pushed the plate away. I was done.
Yep.
I amazed myself that I
It'll
only ate
do it.
one time a day. I was like, this is crazy.
Right.
So if you get the mindset saying, well, am I full? Yeah, I'm full.
If you
Could I
get up
have
from eating a keto meal and you're still hungry, that was your fault. Mm,
exactly.
It ain't the meal's fault. Mm,
Yeah. I mean, and even I even say to people that are starting out, I said, okay, you can have your snacks and stuff like that. I'm more attuned with kill the cravings,
Right,
kill the carb cravings, kill the sugar cravings. The sugar cravings are the worst. So once you get rid of that, then you're okay. So can you have a little keto ice cream, or could you have a little this or that if the carbs or net carbs are okay, less than that? Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
you
mean,
can.
it took us all this time to get to where we are, but consciously you turn around and say, I really don't want it. And that's
Right.
I think that's the name of the game. Mike, do you drink coffee?
On occasion, I do. I'm not a big coffee drinker. I used
Okay.
to be a big coffee drinker, and uh, it was 3 years ago, I think it was now. I gave it up for Lent,
Okay.
cold turkey. Just gave it up, and uh, I, while I'm not a religious man, I am a man of faith,
Right.
uh, and I do that. I'll give up something for Lent, and I gave it up, and I stayed off of it for 2 years. Now, in the last year, I've kind of introduced it back in a little bit.
Okay.
I may get a Dunkin' Donuts coffee every like once a week or twice a week, something like that.
Hmm.
It's but not often.
I became a coffee hound. Wow. I mean, I drink coffee.
Well, that's the
Up.
thing. You can drink coffee on keto. Coffee is really good on keto for you.
Yeah.
Um, it's what you put in there that you got to watch out for.
That's
And you can't use the commercial creamers.
yeah. No, no.
Uh,
Processed. Anything
yeah,
processed.
right. And it, believe it or not, it's going to have sugar in it too. Even if
It'll
it
do.
says no sugar, it probably does because it's going to be something disguised.
And, and the tricks, okay, is when it says no sugar
Hmm.
added. What does that tell you?
That means the sugar was already there. That means the sugar
Exactly.
was. So that's
Exactly.
why if you got go with heavy whipping cream. Um,
That's all I use anymore.
and if you got to have a sweetener in it, yeah, like I, sucralose. Now, if you're going to use it, do not get the Splenda because it's got maltodextrin that it's mixed with in the powdered form.
Mhm.
Don't get the powdered form. If you're going to do that, get the liquid form. The liquid form, you're not getting the maltodextrin in it or the
Oh, okay.
maltitol or whatever it is. You're not getting that.
Good to know.
And you're so if you got to use like that for it, that's what you want. And it's a liquid form. You can find them. They're there because stevia. Get watch for it saying stevia in the raw. No, it ain't. It's got stuff in there you don't want. You want the get the pure stevia. You don't want to get the ones that are the sugar or monk fruit in the raw. Anything that says in the raw on it, it's going to be something you don't want.
Oh, I didn't
So
know that.
yeah, and
I did not know
because
that.
it's anything but that. It's anything, and
See, and this is why he's my partner. Okay, because I I feed off of him. I learn a lot from other people, but Mike gets into the research on it and looks up
they
the
call
different
me the
stuff.
Google King.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, where I would say, whatever,
My
just trying to
my
hurry up and get it cooked and whatever.
my family calls me the world's largest source of useless knowledge. And I quickly correct them and tell them, no, 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 not useless, insignificant maybe, but not useless. But not,
Uh, no, I don't
and
even know how long we've been doing this. I mean, I don't even know when we started it, but we put up quite a few of them.
yeah, we do,
And
and we really have, yeah. I want to say we started right after I got back from Vegas last year. Um,
okay, all
when I
right.
went out there for my granddaughter's graduation in
What
down
that
in Bullhead City.
what that time flew. Holy crap!
Yeah, boy, did it ever. Uh,
So last
but I
question. Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Mike. I'm sorry. No, no,
Uh,
no. Go
I,
ahead.
the but if you, I realize the price of heavy whipping cream is high right now, and if you can't use that, and you got to do something. Half and half is okay. I
Yeah,
mean, it's not gonna. It's a little higher in carbs, but trust me, you could do way worse.
I've had some that I bought wasn't really that high in carbs. They were like two or
Right,
three carbs.
right.
So
If you research it, you can get some that's decent
yeah.
in carb count.
Yeah. But
Uh,
you're right. Heavy whipping cream went from $7, where I used to get it for a half gallon. Now it's up to 10.49. So
right. And
it really jumped.
if you don't want that, then your next best thing, if you don't like the coconut milk or the almond milk or anything like that, go for whole milk.
Yeah.
Don't go for the reduced fat or the skim milk or anything, the 2% or whatever. Do the whole milk. Get that milk fat because that fat, any kind of carbs that you get in there, for some reason, I don't know why, but fat tends to blunt a carb response in your body.
Yeah.
I can't explain why, but it does. That's like if you're going to have, if you go out to a restaurant, like all right, like they bring you bread to the table at the restaurant. If it's real butter, slather that bad boy piece of bread in real butter because that's going to blunt that response from that bread that you eat.
Man, it to my own heart. See, and the problem with people, you have a lot of naysayers about that. Okay, uh, if you blunt the carbs,
Hmm.
okay. In other words, so if you have like one piece of bread but put a ton of butter on it,
Right,
okay, like Mike says, you'll blunt that carb, but the receptors are different.
right, right.
Okay, but if you go eat that bread and butter, okay, and then have a dessert afterwards,
You kind of ruined it.
yeah. So now you're blunting everything goes to
You
the
go,
fat.
oh,
You know what I mean?
I blunted them cards. I can do this. Yeah, 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 yeah. I blunted them cards. So I'm gonna do this. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
if you're gonna have the dessert, don't try to rationalize it. Just go on and do it. Just go.
yeah. I mean, that's the crazy part about it. And you know what it is? It's the, the self-taught way of how you feel. That's the bottom line.
Right.
Okay. We went out the other night and I had appetizers. Okay, and right away, Nurse Ratchet, I mean Marie, says to me, "There's breading on that." All right, it's that much breading, Marie. It's not going to kill me. All
Right.
right, we'll see. She goes there one of them deals. Okay, but it didn't affect me because that was like the second thing I ate throughout the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Right.
and
That's
that's
it. That's
yeah,
it. Yeah. What now?
common
Once
sense.
you've been on keto for longer, your body has become more adapted, and you can actually add a few carbs in and get away with it a lot better than you can when you first start out. And I'm talking about after you've been on it for like a year or more.
Mhm.
You can start doing that, but you don't want to do it regularly because it'll come back on you. You'll start putting it back on. And I'm here to tell you that avalanche, you're going to sit there and go, WTF,
That's what happened to me. I started this in 2015. Okay, and I did it for a year, and then I got the poor me syndrome. Oh, why can't I have this? Why can't I? I lost 44 pounds, and Mike, I gained back 64 pounds
Yeah.
in a heartbeat.
That's the thing about the body. Boy, when you lose weight, it's happy. But when you start eating the other way, they're saying, all right, by God, we'll show you. Yeah. You watch and you see. Yeah, you watch. We're going to show you. You should have stuck with that other thing.
Get that easy chair out, because guess what? That's where your ass is going to be.
Yeah. There you go.
It's
Yeah, get ready to be doing them water aerobics, because your knees ain't gonna be able to take nothing else.
All right, last question on this thing here.
Okay.
What's your future with YouTube?
Oh wow, that's a good one. Future with YouTube.
Yeah, you see.
I want to keep putting out videos as long as I'm having fun doing it.
Bingo.
If I stop having fun, you're going to see the videos either come to a halt or get fewer and far between. Now, also, a lot of my future with YouTube is dictated by Paige's health.
Okay.
Because for those that don't know it, she has Alzheimer's. It's early onset. She's short-term memory seems to be the bigger issue. When I say that, like, we can be sitting watching a TV show, and she'll say, "Who is this character? I don't remember this character," and I have to pause it and tell her, or I have to catch her up with the plot line. Oh, okay. And as soon as I start telling her, she remembers. Or, for instance, she'll ask me a question. 5 minutes later, she asks me the same question. 5 minutes after that, I get the same question. So those are the things that are giving her the problems now. Now, we also, as far as like, she still drives, but it's only local. And that's like, we go to, she'll go to her mama's. Her mama lives over in a retired living location over around Emory University and Emory Hospital here in Atlanta, and she'll drive there because she knows how to get there and knows it because she's been driving it forever. That's a long-term memory thing.
Right.
But if she's going somewhere she hasn't been before, that's a whole different story. Now, about the furthest she drives is out to her cousin's house who lives in Athens. But she's been there, and she's been there before she had Alzheimer's, so she knows the way. Now, could she tell you how to do it to get there? No, but she'll plug it into Waze, and then Waze will tell her what to do, and she'll see, she'll get there to a location and see it. Oh yeah, I remember this. I remember I turned here. That kind of thing. Because she doesn't remember highway names, highway roads, things like that. She just knows, oh yeah, I do turn here. That kind of thing.
I know they're doing studies right now about because keto with epilepsy, worked out with it, but they're now also they're doing stuff with heart problems and also with Alzheimer's.
Right.
It's all new studies and stuff like that where the fat into the brain to keep the brain functioning a little bit better.
And that's another reason why we're going stricter keto also. So that it would help to see what it does to help to slow the progression.
Yeah, I mean, I'm to the point where I'm 68, so I mean, you're not that far behind me, but no. There's sometimes I looked for my glasses one time and on top of my freaking head. I mean, it was just like,
I mean, walk in a room and say, "Why did I come in here?"
Oh yeah, that's constantly. You know what I mean? But it's scary, especially when you with your spouse, and it's more scary for them because if they're a little cognizant of which Paige knows what's going on and everything else like that. That's got to be. Marie is definitely afraid of it because her brother died of it. Here's this poor guy, and there again, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but the guy didn't like fat, no nothing. Okay, high carb eater, the whole 9 yards, and believe me, I'm not saying that was the cause of it. Right?
No, but it didn't help it.
He turned around and went blind, but
Oh
he wasn't
wow.
blind. His mind was telling him he couldn't see.
There's a group that Paige is a part of, that there are some folks in there who they're not blind, but they have real strong vision problems,
Yeah.
because of the Alzheimer's, because the brain and the vision they're out of whack with each other.
Yeah. He couldn't sing, okay? Let alone couldn't sing, but he sang in Italian. Never spoke Italian. So it's a
Yeah,
whew, I
but
don't know.
she her father died from Alzheimer's, and
Yeah,
that
you'd
was
see.
that was back in 2009. My mother died in September, uh, on September 14th, 2009, and her father died October 6th, 2009. Three
Wow.
weeks apart, basically, and that was a rough month. And it it's a sad disease, but we try to make uh, to have fun with it. We'll crack a joke about it. You know, laughter is the best medicine on things with her, especially because
Yes, sir.
she loves laughing about it. And I'll tell her, I'll say, she'll be down, and I'll say, dear, look at it on the bright side. I said, with the Alzheimer's, you can hide your own Easter eggs. And she'll laugh and she'll say, "Oh, that's funny," or I'll say, "You can be your own secret Santa," you know. And it's
you got to take light of it. I mean, it just uh, just my neighbor next door. Okay, I haven't seen him in a couple days. All right, well, he's in the hospital. Okay, with pneumonia. So
wow.
I said, "Damn!" I seen the daughter, and I says, I come to think of it, I haven't seen your mother. She said she's on the second floor in the hospital.
See,
I mean,
dang,
that's how
that's
fast it
just
is.
that's just man.
Yeah.
But
So
I to get to your question, I want to keep doing videos. I do, and as long as I'm able to. Now, the frequency of them may have to go down according to my availability of time to do them over course of time. But uh, you know, as- and if nobody's watching, as long as I'm having fun, I'll still put a video out there.
yeah, yeah.
If I'm able to. So I I do it hoping people will watch. I do it hoping I can maybe get monetized, and I don't I don't believe I'll ever get rich off of YouTube videos, but it wouldn't hurt if I could get a few dollars rolling in to help with the expenses, because I of what you pay to buy the things that you make, because
Yeah.
you want to keep the content fresh, and some of that stuff can get a little expensive, and if I could recoup a little bit of that money, that would be nice.
Like
But
Marie says to me, maybe you should get stuff that's in a box. It's cheaper. I said, I'm not doing it just to be on YouTube.
yeah,
Not at all. I mean, Marie lost 51 pounds.
see, Paige has lost 70.
And she has nothing wrong with her. Marie
Yeah.
don't take a pill. Nothing.
See, both of them, they're to be commended too. You're to be
Yeah.
commended for what you've done. You've lost it. That what you did is nothing short of fantastic.
But and the whole idea is the friendship, the camaraderie. That's the last thing I want to bring up here, because we're a little over an hour. Is how I met Mike, okay, and how we became friends. We'll call him once in a while on the phone. We don't talk every day, but
Uh,
we'll converse back and forth.
yeah.
We basically have the same sense of humor, type of
Oh
thing.
yeah. Irreverent as hell.
Yeah, I mean, he did one short on I sent to him a message. I said, really, on top of old Smokey, he got his freaking meatball.
On top of
Okay,
spaghetti.
but that's how we get along. I mean, I have a lot of friends on YouTube and stuff like that. Me and Mike really clicked and hit it off, and that's how we decided to come up with this. And please like and subscribe to both of us. But Mike, I want to get Mike up over the top here. Um, Great guy, great friend. Um, like I said, we're like night and day as far as what we do. Okay, but we're doing the same thing, same results.
We are right. We're
Yeah,
getting there.
yeah, yeah.
Different. The path is a little different for each of us, but in the long run, it's not that
Yeah.
different. I mean, the intricacies of it are different, but it's still low carb and keto we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The results are basically the same.
Yeah. And when I first started, I started May 6th, and I talked to the doctor. I went in and I had kind of started doing low carb, and I when I left Vegas, I kind of started doing low carb, but cut the carbs way back, but it wasn't nothing like keto. And he said, I said, well, I started doing low carb. He said, have you thought about keto? I said, well, yeah. And I told him why. And he said, and he was with Kaiser. He said, there's about six or, and if you've ever been to Kaiser Permanente, it's one stop shop doctors. You
Yeah.
got a building full of all different types of doctors in there. And he said, there's 6 or 7 doctors here in this building who strongly believe in the keto and low carb diet. And he said, I do it. My father does it. And then this guy
Wow.
was not overweight or anything. He said, I do it. And he said, you think about it. And I said, well, I have been, and you just, you just confirmed that I needed to do it right there. And that's the day I started. When I left there, that's when I did it, because I had already been thinking about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and here I tell this story, and it's funny because when I went on Medicare, I couldn't stay with Kaiser because I had retired from the state and my insurance is through there. And so a supplemental plan, the state didn't offer one with Kaiser. So I had to go Blue Cross Blue Shield or with United Healthcare. Well, United Healthcare is crap.
Hmm.
And mine and Paige's opinion, she worked in the medical industry. And so she, we went with Blue Cross Blue Shield. And so I go back to the doctor that I had been going to prior to going to Kaiser. And when I went to him, he saw that I had all this weight loss, and he goes, wow. And he goes, how'd you do it? And I said, I went keto. And he goes, oh. And I said, what? He said, well, it's not sustainable. And I said, I've been doing it for 4 years. When is this unsustainability going to kick in?
Kick in. Exactly.
And you can see this big old smile underneath his mask. And
Yeah.
he goes, okay, you got me.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I switched from MD to DO. Okay. I did a little bit more
There's a lot of
holistically.
wisdom in that.
Yeah. And what and this guy looks like he's got to stick his tongue out when he turns sideways, girl, so you wouldn't see him. I mean, so that's how. I don't know if he's vegetarian or whatever he is, but
When he does that, does he look like a zipper?
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So, so he turns around and says to me, "Well, you got to be careful with that because of cholesterol and blah 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 blah." Okay, so we butted heads a little bit about that, and then when I seen him the first time, I was almost like real close to 8.0 on my A1C.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
high.
yeah, it's high. And then I went back and seen him again 30 days, and I was down to 7.2 or something like that. And then the third month I went back, and I went down to 5.6. And he says, this keto thing is working. Let's look at your other stuff. And pulls out the thing, and he went, wow, this is really working at that. Okay. But he didn't hesitate to take me off any of the medication. So that's where I'm at. I'm pretty happy with it and stuff.
Well,
So
this doctor, when I was going to him, I'd never had a problem with blood sugar. It was around 5.5, and all. That was about the highest it got. One time it got to 5.6, but nothing above that. And he said, well, let's see what the blood work comes back with, because when you were coming before, it was around 230, 240. I said, it's going to be in the 170s with the LDL being below 100, and the triglycerides are going to be below 100, and my HDL is going to be about 80. And he goes, well, you seem real certain of this. I said, you want to place money on it, doc? Come on, let's put it down on the table right now. And he said, whoa, wait a minute. This is a doctor's office, not a casino.
yeah,
And I said,
exactly.
okay. So he calls me to go over the numbers, and he goes, well, it was your overall cholesterol was 174, He said, I said, yep, told you it was going to be in the 170s. He goes, yeah, you did. Your HDL was 81. I said, told you it was going to be in the 80s. And he goes, yeah, you did. He said, your triglycerides were like 57. I said, I told you it was going to be under 100. He said, yeah. And he said, and your LDL was like 70. And I said, told you it was going to be below 100, didn't I? And he said, yeah. And he goes, okay. He said, I can't argue with these numbers. He said, these numbers are great.
I brought two sets of uh, papers with me from my previous test. Okay, so I was waiting. I was waiting for him to hit me between the eyes at that. Well, look at the medication that it's working. Okay, so he said, "Wow." He said, "Your cholesterol's 121. Perfect. LDL's right on the money. The only thing is my triglycerides were high. Okay, but we determined that it was hereditary, and
A lot,
the
a lot of
medication.
that is. A lot of
Yeah,
that is. Yeah.
but Mike, at one point, mine was 680. I'm sorry, no, 1680.
Holy smokes!
They
Wow.
told they said I was the talk at the cocktail parties.
You
But
bought a car too.
yeah, so exactly. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'll take that Mercedes over there, please.
Yeah.
That's all, Tom. Anyway, so I went back and he says to me, his exact words was, "See, I can't take you off the cholesterol medication because it's working. It brought it down." I said, "Hold on a minute, Slappy." I said, "This first one here is pre keto. Okay, numbers didn't budge. Okay, 240. Okay,
Hmm.
this one here. Okay, is still pre keto. Just before I started keto. Okay, 250. It went up.
Right.
Okay, then I showed him the new one, 121. That's keto. I'm going keto. So he went like this. Okay. Well, let's see. Well, see when do you want to come back again? He asked me, when do I want to come back? I said, never. Right? He said, no, you got to come back. You got to come back. He says, you want 6 months? I said, how about a year? Okay, so this is it coming up. So,
This doctor, he told me, he was talking to me, and I said, Doc, after I'd gone back to him and he saw all this, I said, first off, let me apologize. And he goes, what for? And I said, I'm no longer going to be able to make that house payment for you. I'm no longer.
yeah,
He starts dying laughing. And
Mike,
I said, but in my defense, you never did invite me to that lake house.
I told my doctor, I told my urologist in North Carolina, I'm battling bladder cancer, and me and him are going back. We became friends. He's from Connecticut, I was from New Jersey, and we're talking about different foods and stuff. I used to bring him from the farm. I used to bring him up zucchinis and stuff like that. And you know how you got to do the examination. So he's talking about sausage in Trader Joe's. Okay, as he's giving me the bladder exam, and I said to him, I said, oh, by the way. I says, how much longer do I have to pay for your medical school? He says, no, that's over. Now you got to pay for my retirement. Matter of fact, he was a graduate from Emory. It was a big shot with
really?
Emory.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Great guy. Really great guy.
Emory got a good hospital and a good medical school. They're good college, period. They're in the top 10 and everything they
Yep.
do in the country, so, even top 5 in some cases. But while we're at it, I know if y'all are seeing this spot right here,
I thought it was a fly.
this is this is what you get when you don't serve page food quick enough.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Or
I'm
too
kidding.
spicy.
Yeah. We were in Florida, and I got up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and I came back, and they had the post on the bed had went down to the floor, and I tried to turn the corner too quick, and I hit my toe on the bed, and I lost my balance doing it, and I hit the wall, and the wall was like a rough finish stucco type thing, but it was not stucco, if you know what I mean. It was plaster, but
Yeah.
it wasn't sheetrock, and I skint my head right there, and I said, it got X-rated there for a minute.
Yeah, it
and and,
did.
and I I laid back down, and I'm like, dang it,
Ah, boy, I
Like,
tell you.
man. Oh, now talk about me when putting the mistakes in there. You will do it because you left it in there where you gave the linguine, the finguine to the with the slicer when you was it you were doing uh zucchini, I think you were
Yeah.
slicing zucchini on the mandolin.
Yep. And my partner sent me a pair of gloves, cut cut free gloves. That's how we became close, right there. He wanted to
Yes,
make sure my fingers were all intact.
but you left it in because you're
Yeah.
like, why not?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna do it.
that was the whole idea is that I don't want to be phony about anything. Okay,
Right,
uh,
exactly.
and if I'm doing something, I mean, I made some stuff that just I looked at Marie and said, "This is garbage." You know what I mean? I don't want no part of it. You know what I mean? But that's all stuff that we do. I mean, I don't film every day. I try to keep on a little bit of a schedule. I always book myself up ahead with it because of different things going on and everything like that. So yeah, I mean, I know you're going to keep going on, and now everybody has an idea about what's going on in your life as far as with Paige and stuff, and that's the ladder we climb.
Right.
But to get our message out there to how we did what we do, and a lot of people say, that like your doctor said, that's not sustainable. It's not. Well, once you see the results, the first time you see the results, it's up to you. You take it from there.
Right.
Yeah,
Now,
so
you remember when I told you when Lee was on, and I said I'm doing something with the chaffle in a video coming up. I'm not going to tell you what it is, and you said, "Oh, huh, you throw that little nugget out there, and you just don't tell us what it
yeah,
is."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That video came out. That was the chicken and dumplings using the chaffle as the dumpling.
Okay. I got to check that. I haven't been. My
I
sis.
I was afraid that the thing was gonna fall apart. It didn't. It did not fall apart.
Yeah, I mean, you got you there. I say it all the time. You got to play with your food. You got to play with it, especially what we're doing because I said before we are so attuned. Okay,
Yeah. Yep.
bread, sandwiches for
Mhm.
lunch, and this and that. Oh, come on,
Now I'm telling you now, if you when you eat that, you're not gonna go, that's a dumpling,
right, exactly.
because it ain't. but
Play,
but it was a decent substitute.
yeah, and
That's if you think you're gonna replace what you were tasting before, you're not. You're not.
wait a minute, wait a minute. I defy anybody to make the rye chaffle and say it does not taste like rye bread. That's all I'm saying. Got to give it a try.
Yeah, that was about as close as you could get to rye bread and not have rye bread in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, partner, we're
man.
up on almost an hour and a half. I think
Oh wow, we are.
we
Dang.
covered pretty much everything. Uh, Listen, I'm honored to know you. I'm proud to call you my friend,
Same here, brother.
and I really appreciate you. I really do.
And for everybody watching, uh, there's a friend of ours and a lot of y'all that are going to watch this that his wife has some health issues that she's going through.
Yeah,
Uh, please keep the dude in your heart, your mind, and your thoughts and your prayers.
yeah,
They need it because they are having she's having a real rough go, and he's got two grandkids he's trying to help to take care of and all, and
yeah,
just keep them in your thoughts and prayers.
yeah.
I'm telling you, they are having a really hard time.
Wasn't for him, we wouldn't be
This is
together.
it. This is it. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
because
thing right there.
we had it was comments. That was really all we had going with each other's videos and liking
Yeah,
each other's videos. But that was where we met. That was
dude,
where
dude,
we actually met.
dude kept saying, "You got to go live. Got to go live." I am freaking live. What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah. And what's funny is he kept telling us both that you got to do lives. You got to do lives. He don't do lives anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Too funny.
Dude is
All right,
funny.
partner. We're going to wrap it up.
All
I
right.
appreciate everybody for watching. Remember, like, subscribe. Make sure you tap on this gentleman's
And on
thumbs
his
up
too. On his
and
too.
on that bell. Don't cost anything. You know what I mean?
Not a
To
dime.
subscribe.
Not a dime.
And please look for us every Wednesday. We're going to be here until we don't do it no more. But I want to continue doing it. And
I don't see any reason to stop.
And we're going to bring some other people up. We want to bring up people that we know, not necessarily keto. The one thing we do have in common is food. Okay, so everybody does eat.
Everybody's eating.
Bring different people up, and how we got to know each other.
Let's do this. If you haven't been asked by us, but you would love to come up and just talk to us about stuff, hit us both up.
Yeah, that's why he gets paid the big bucks. This guy over here. That's why he
hit us up. Our emails are out there. Hit us up. Hit us up. Let us and say, hey, I got a story I'd like to share with y'all.
Yeah, sounds great. Really good. All right, there, sir. I appreciate it. Everybody, thank you for watching. And remember, I'm live from Las Vegas.
And I'm live from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia.
Are you stoned? All right.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, far out, dude.
Dave's not here.
Okay, everybody, take care.